Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Sunday morning, the day after Arsenal's defeat at Everton. Apologies, I didn't get to do my video after the game at Goodison last night. There's just too much going on and my computer died about 20 minutes after the full-time whistle, so it was impossible. So I thought I'd pop on this morning, just go into a little bit more depth about that game, that defeat, the situation Mikel Arteta finds himself in, the situation Arsenal find themselves in. I will go through my player ratings at the very end, just in case you're bothered about them, because I didn't get to do them last night, and just go over a few of the talking points from the game and the week to come. First of all, one little thing, I'm actually off work now in terms of goal between now and Boxing Day. So I go back on the Chelsea game, so I'm not going to be at Man City on Tuesday night. I will be at home, spending a bit of time pre-Christmas with the family, recharging the batteries a little bit. I will try and pop on and do at least a couple of videos in the meantime, just to keep you updated with everything. I'll try and give my reaction to the City game as well, even though I won't be there. But yeah, if you don't see as much as me in the next few days and you don't see me as active on social media, that's why. It's just a little bit of downtime. Quite a nice time to take a break from Arsenal, to be honest, given what they are serving up on the pitch. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Everton, shall we? Just another deja vu, really, isn't it? I think the performance kind of summed up everything that's wrong with Arsenal at the moment. They had plenty of ball, didn't really do anything with it. I didn't think Everton were great by any means. In fact, I thought they were pretty poor, and a decent team would have beaten them fairly comfortably yesterday, but unfortunately Arsenal aren't a decent team at the moment. And despite having all that ball, despite in the second half basically being camped in the Everton half, they didn't really ever look like equalising. They were 2-1 down at half-time, Pepe scoring a penalty, cancelling out a Rob Holding own goal, and then Yerry Mina scored his header right on the half-time. It's another goal Arsenal conceded just before half-time. It's left them with all to do in the second half, and you kind of knew even then at half-time they just weren't going to get back into the game. You never fancied them to score, and that's how it proved. Like I said, they had loads of possession, got into the final third quite a few times, got down the wings a few times, but there's just no one in and around the penalty area he fancied to score goals. I think there was that last couple of minutes in injury time. I think Ainsley whipped in a really good ball from the right-hand side. No one in the 6-yard box. It went straight across the face of goal. And then I think about 30 seconds later on the other side, Saka whipped in, had a shot that was kind of pushed out by Pickford, and there was no one there to follow up and try and turn it in. It's just Arsenal, they're just so meek in the attacking third. Just don't look like have players who can score goals. Just don't have players from midfield who can chip in and support the forwards, and it's costing them dear. I think now you're looking at the situation Arsenal find themselves in, and it is very, very worrying indeed. And the relegation candidates, you have to say, on current form, on what they have in the squad, they're relegation candidates. You have to say it. It pains me to say it, but what you're seeing on the pitch week in, week out leaves you with no confidence that they're going to pick up many points going forward. And it's a real worry, because Mikel Arteta cannot find a solution. He cannot seem to find a solution to this. It's not even a blip, it's a crisis. It is a full-blown crisis Arsenal are in now. This isn't a blip, it's been going on for too long. Since January the 1st, when they won at Manchester United, they've picked up 2 points from a possible 21. They've picked up 5 points from a possible 30 in the Premier League. They are absolutely nailed on relegation candidates unless things improve drastically in the coming weeks. And as I said, you just can't. There's nothing to hold on to at the moment. You're kind of looking for the green shoots of recovery. I thought maybe the draw against Southampton, holding on with 10 men for half an hour, maybe that would inspire them to something to get Everton. I went up there to Everton and I kind of fancied they might get a result. But as soon as the game started, it just went into that similar sort of fashion of what we've seen from Arsenal in recent weeks, and you kind of just thought, oh, here we go again. And it's exactly how it panned out. In some, look, I'll get on to Mikel Arteta in a little bit, but his players are letting him down. Some of his players are letting him down. There's no doubt about that. For Willian's performance yesterday, in the first half especially, he did improve a little bit after the break in the second half, but the first half performance from Willian was the first time I've ever sat there and actually generally thought a player wasn't trying. He was so bad. He was hiding on the pitch. He was just absolutely plain hiding. Whenever a defender had the ball, whenever El Nini had the ball in midfield and looked up, Willian did not offer anything. He didn't move. There was no movement. He was not sprinting. He was just standing there, comfortably being marked. marked out of the game. Basically, he was impossible for someone to find him with a pass. So he may as well have not been there. He may as well have been back in London. It was, like I said, the first time I've genuinely thought a player wasn't trying. It was an embarrassment of a performance in that first half from Willian. Really shouldn't have come out for the second half. If Mikel Arteta wanted to send out a strong message, he wouldn't have come out for the second half. He did, and he did improve in the second half. I'll give him that. But that first 45 minutes was absolutely embarrassing from Willian. And it wasn't just Willian. There was lots of awful performances out there. Eddie offered nothing. The one chance he had, he snatched that absolutely wildly in the first half when he had time to take a touch, but he just panicked. And I think that kind of shows the mood Arsenal are in right now. And Pepe wasn't great, but he did score the penalty at least, and it was a nice penalty as always with Pepe, very good from the penalty spot. I thought El Neni was poor. I thought Ceballos was poor. They were all poor. They did improve in the second half, but I just thought that first half performance from Willian, considering he's one of Arsenal's big signings in the summer, he was the player who's supposed to come in and hit the ground running because of his experience, because of his age, because he's already up to speed in the Premier League. He's absolutely letting his manager and his team down, and he's not worth the money Arsenal are paying him. And I thought yesterday's first half performance was an embarrassment from Willian, and he really should watch that back when they go back to Colney and they analyse the game. He should be embarrassed from the effort he clearly wasn't putting in that first half. I thought one of the big things to come from the game that I really noticed was the amount of bickering between the players on the pitch. It's clearly not a happy dressing room at the moment. You could tell that even when it was still 0-0, the players just straight away, they were arguing between themselves. David Luiz came back inside. I thought David Luiz was Arsenal's best player yesterday. I thought he did all he could to try and drive them forward, and you could see the frustration in his face when he had the ball. And he looked forward and no one was moving, and he was just getting so frustrated that he couldn't find a pass. The only player making any sort of movement in the attacking third was Nicolas Pepe. You kept making a sort of run inside to try and get in behind Ben Godfrey. And Luiz tried to pick him out a few times, but he was the only player offering any sort of movement for Arsenal. And you could see how frustrated Luiz was getting. He was barking orders at everyone. El Neni, when he had the ball, kept passing the ball backwards. Luiz was getting really annoyed by that and shouting at El Neni. El Neni and Ceballos were bickering. Leno was having a go at El Neni. There was just fights all around the pitch, and you often see that at times, but I thought it was really noticeable yesterday. And it's clearly this run of results, the mood around the place, it's clearly taking its toll on the players, and the frustrations are beginning to boil over. We know it's not too pretty a picture behind the scenes at Arsenal at the moment. You've got the problems with the squad, with players not playing, players being unhappy with Mikel Arteta, and even the players that are playing are beginning to clearly feel the frustrations now. And I thought it was quite apparent on the pitch yesterday that all is not right. We spoke to Mikel Arteta after the game. It's getting tough, these press conferences with Arteta now, because it kind of feels like Groundhog Day. And I said it to him. I was like, look, Mikel, you keep saying the team's doing all right and you're having bad luck, which he said, which I thought was rubbish. It's not about bad luck from Arsenal at the moment. That is one thing Arsenal are not really having. Yes, they at the bar. Yes, they're scoring own goals, but you make your own luck. And the way Arsenal are playing, they don't deserve any luck at the moment. And I said, look, it just feels like Groundhog Day, Mikel. What you're saying these things to us each week, but you're not acting on them. Nothing's changing. And he said, and his answer was pretty weak, to be honest. He kind of went through the excuses, said the opponents are not generating anything. We lost to Burnley without them generating a single shot. This is how the team wins in the Premier League. We're not going to generate 15 or 20 chances against blocks. It's not realistic. When we have done accurately enough, we finalise those actions. There is a bad combination. Sometimes it's that we play with 10 men. The other week was obviously an own goal. Today we conceded an own goal. It's lots of things happening at the same time. And when that happens, then it's difficult. It just feel a bit like excuses to me. It feels like a manager who doesn't know how to solve the issue, and that's a worry. I like Mikel. I really want him to find a way out of this mess that he currently finds himself in, but some of his answers in the press conferences at the moment aren't filling me with the greatest of confidence, and nor's his demeanour at the moment, I have to say. And I said to him, and this is, like I said, I like Mikel and I want to find him. I want him to find a way out of it. But these results, they're becoming untenable for any manager. When you're a manager of Arsenal and you get 5 points from 30, you get 2 points from 21. When you possibly end the weekend 2 points above the relegation zone, when you're 16th in the Premier League or 15th in the Premier League, for a club like Arsenal, you will lose your job for that. It doesn't matter how much people want to give you time. If that stays for any period of time and doesn't improve, you will lose your job. And I said to him, look, is your position becoming untenable the longer this run goes on? And he says, I understand that, but my energy and my focus is only on getting the team out of this situation, maintaining the spirit in the team and the boys, and the fight the boys showed every time they go on the pitch. You can see that. You cannot deny that. Obviously, again, the results, there is no question about it. It's not good enough and it's not acceptable to the standards of this football club. And this is a challenge and a fight that we are against. Still in that answer, he talks about the fight the boys showed. I'm not seeing that. He may be, but I'm not. And I'm not sure a lot of you guys are either. I have to say, you did, when they went down to 10 men against Southampton, they showed it, but I don't think they really showed it yesterday against an Everton team that were there for the taking for me. And then I said to him, look, how much pressure are you feeling? You must be feeling under a lot of pressure. And he said, obviously it's a really complicated situation, but I'm very encouraged from what I see from the players to continue doing what we're trying to do. We think that, of course, we're going to have to improve, but I think we've been very, very unlucky not to pick up many, many more points. Again, a little bit of an excuse there, I have to say. And one of the words when he says, I am encouraged from what I see from the players to continue doing what we are trying to do, that worries me a little bit as well, because I really want to see Arsenal make some changes in this run. It's clearly not working. The results don't lie. This is a pattern. It's not a blip. It's not a one-off. It's a pattern. It's a crisis. You've got to try and change things up. Why isn't Emile Smith-Rowe playing? When you're lacking creativity in a number 10 role, when you're lacking goals from midfield, why not give Emile Smith-Rowe a go? Why is he sitting on the bench completely underused at the moment when he's fully fit? Yes, he's inexperienced. Yes, he's young. Yes, but he's fit finally, and he has something in his locker that we've seen in the Europa League, that we've seen in the cup competitions over the last couple of years that Arsenal players do not have. He has creativity, he can score, he arrives late in the box, he gets in front of the forwards. Surely he is worth a go. He can't do any worse than what's happening at the moment for me. Why is Ainsley Maitland-Niles not playing in central midfield at the moment? Why are you sticking with Elneny and Ceballos, which isn't going well at all? Play with Willett if you want. Play with Willett. Play with Reece Nelson if he's fit again now. Just do something different and not just keep going. You say there, we're going to keep continuing to do what we're trying to do. It's not working, so try and do something different, please. It just feels like he's tripping over his own words a little bit for me. I didn't listen to that press conference yesterday and think that these are the words of a manager who can turn it round, and that's a worry for me. Like I said, I want him to do well. I want him to perform. I want him to turn things round, but at the moment the signs are that he's not going to do it. And you look at the next week, Manchester City Tuesday, Chelsea on Boxing Day. If he can't get 2 results there, which on current form look unlikely, then he is going to be in such a difficult position. And as I said, their results, they're beginning to become untenable, so he has to find a way around it very, very quickly. Wasn't helped yesterday by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and getting his injury, his calf injury. He couldn't really put a time scale on it. So the latest update on Aubameyang is it could be 1 or 2 weeks. If it's 2 weeks, that's going to take him till January, basically. So he could be without the skipper for a few games. You've got, like I said, Man City, Chelsea, Brighton coming before New Year's Day. So looks very doubtful for that. He says, we want him back as quickly as possible. He has a small strain and we will need a few days to assess the situation. I don't know if it's a week or 2 weeks. It all depends how the injury evolves. Mesut Ozil was a big talking point yesterday. I know the boys in the Sky Sports studio were talking about him. Jamie Redknapp, Graham Souness. He tweeted again, Mesut Ozil on full time yesterday, a broken heart emoji. It is tough. That decision is looking worse and worse for Arteta now. The longer it goes on, the longer his team can't create, the longer his team can't score. Would Ozil solve all Arsenal's issues? I don't think he would at all. But there's no doubt he would improve their creativity, and he would, being on the pitch, would help Arsenal create more chances than they currently are. Graham Souness was asked about him coming back, and he said, I'm not sure the player coming back in on his terms is never good. I think it diminishes Arteta's credibility with some of the players in the dressing room. They could use that against him. Redknapp kind of disagreed. He said, people have talked about whether Arsenal should bring Ozil back. For me, it's a no-brainer. You're not creating chances. Does the manager look weak bringing him back? Some will say he would, but not for me. Arteta tried to make a statement by not putting him in his squad, but he should take this on the chin and say it hasn't worked. They should use him while they've still got him. What's the point? Being in the position they're in without Ozil just doesn't make sense to me. And it is becoming an increasingly difficult situation for Arteta. Ozil obviously still determined to stay till the end of the season. He's not going to go in January. He says if that is the case, then surely you've got to make yourself look a little bit weak and bring Mesut Ozil back into the squad. Personally, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he probably should do it, especially if Arsenal aren't going to make any signings in the January transfer window. If they can't get in an Aouar or someone like that, I think you've got to use Mesut Ozil if you want to improve your chances of having a better second half of the season. The results don't lie, the stats don't lie, they're not creating without him. He's still Arsenal's best creative player, so if you've got him in the squad and you're paying him, then surely you use him, considering the state Arsenal are in at the moment. If Arsenal are doing well towards the top of the table and winning games, then fine, you've made the right decision, or you've made a decision and it's not affecting the results. But right now it clearly is affecting results, and the longer this goes on, the more you think he's got to bite the bullet and bring Ozil in for the second half of the season just to try and improve results. Because if not, you might end up going down. As stupid as that sounds, and as maybe sensationalist as it sounds, I don't think on current form you can say it is sensationalist, because Arsenal are looking like relegation candidates, and if you bring Mesut Ozil back into your side, you're a better team. You've got more chances of winning games, so surely you have to do that. Right, lastly from me on this video, I'm just going to go through my player ratings for any of you that are bothered about it, just because I missed out on doing it yesterday. So I'll quickly rattle through them. I thought Bernd Leno was okay. He made a really good save, so unlucky. He made a great save to deny Calvert-Lewin, and then from the resulting corner, his defenders let him down and let Yerry Mina score the goal. So I'm going to give Leno a 6. I'm going to give David Luiz a 7. I thought he was Arsenal's best player by some distance yesterday, David Luiz. Rob Holding and Kieran Tierney, I will give a 6. Defensively, I didn't think they were absolutely awful yesterday. Arsenal, they just made a couple of errors, Holding for the own goal and then bad marking from the set piece. Everton didn't cause them too many problems, but they still let themselves down in key moments, and that's what cost them the game ultimately. So I give Holding and Tierney a 6, Luiz a 7, Leno a 6, Ceballos I thought was really poor. I'm going to give Ceballos a 4. I'm going to give El Neni a 4 as well. I thought he was equally as poor, just offering nothing really in midfield for me. Lots of sideways and backwards passing, not progressing the ball forward when he should, and making it very, very easy for Everton. And Ceballos not much better. Willian I'm giving a 2. Just for that first half performance. He did improve in the second half, but for his first half performance, absolutely embarrassing. So I'm going to give him a 2. I'm going to give Eddie a 3. I thought he was not much better at all. His chance in the first half summed up his performance and his finish. I'll give Pepe a 5. Wasn't great by any means, but he scored his penalty. He did look a threat when he had the ball in the second half. Unfortunately, when he got into key areas, he was poor. His end product was poor. But he was still better than Willian. I can't believe Willian went off and Pepe stayed on in the second half. When Arteta starts to make some subs, I can't really give any ratings to the 3 players that came on. It was Willock, Martinelli and Lacazette, but they just didn't do anything really. So I'm not going to give those ratings. So Luiz, man of the match for me, the best of a very poor and uninspiring bunch. Right, that's it from me. Thank you for watching today's video. Like I said, I am off now for the next few days. I'll be back at Boxing Day, so you won't see me at the Emirates on Tuesday night for the Man City game, but I will still try and do a couple of videos just to keep things ticking over, and try and keep you updated as I possibly can. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Everyone, try not to think too much about football, and I'll speak to you soon.